So the time is 7 o'clock, so I'd like to call the January 4th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. Can we have roll call, please?
Nathan Harker,
Here.
Colette Henderson,
Here.
Janet Meese, Gary Oakes,
Here.
Richard Waters,
Here.
Fred Webb,
Here.
Justin Brown,
Here.
Darrell Dalton.
Here.
And if you all would stand, we'll have a moment of silence and then the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance All right, at this time, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for chairman.
I'll nominate Mr. Hawker for chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other nominations? All right, I'll close the floor for nominations. If we can have a roll call vote, please.
Nathan Harker,
Yes.
Colette Henderson,
Yes.
Janet Meese, Gary Oakes,
Yes.
Richard Waters,
Yes.
Fred Webb,
Yes.
Justin Brown,
Yes.
Darrell Dalton.
Yes.
Now I will turn the meeting over to our newly elected chairman.
Thank you. Thank you all for your vote of confidence. I know so many of you were excited to take this role. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for our vice chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Ms. Henderson again for another term.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Webb. Any others? All right, if not, we'll do a roll call vote for that.
Nathan Harker,
Yes.
Colette Henderson,
Yes.
Janet Meese, Gary Oakes,
Yes.
Richard Waters,
Yes.
Fred Webb,
Yes.
Justin Brown,
Yes.
Darrell Dalton.
Yes.
Congratulations, Colette. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Congratulations.
At 7:03, I'd like to open the floor to a hearing of the citizens. If there's anybody here tonight to speak to us, this board, concerning any matter that's not already on the agenda, now's the time to do that.
We didn't have anyone sign up.
Okay. All right. Approval of the agenda. Floor is open for a motion on the approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Mr. Webb. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Please cast your votes. Motion carries, I'm assuming. 6 yes, 0 no.
Yes.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from our December meeting.
Motion by Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Brown. All those in favor, please vote. Comes up and down real quick, doesn't it? 6 yes, 0 no, motion carries. Chairman's report, I don't have any report tonight. Just thanks again for your vote of confidence. Thought last year went pretty well, and hopefully this year will too. Thank you, Colette, for agreeing to serve as vice chairman. At 7:05, case R-24-001 is now open for public hearing.
Case R-24-001, James and Betty Garrett have petitioned to rezone 2.952 acres located on State Road 841 Still Meadow Road in the Callan-Scranton Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow the property to be consolidated with an adjacent parcel zoned A1. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. Staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, James Garrett is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Garrett, do you have anything that you'd like to say to this board that we don't already have in the packet? Yes, sir. Come on up and do that. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members. This parcel I want to rezone is part of the original farm I grew up on. When my dad died, went up to kind of look after my mother, and she parceled off a little lot for us they included in this. And a little later, I acquired the farm, and I started building a couple of buildings on it, a feedlot and everything to feed the cows on. And I'm 80 years old, getting ready to let the farm go to my son, who is in the farm, a cattle farm in there. And this would be helpful to him to have this land, his buildings, and make it more convenient where he can get into the property. It's just, like I said, it was part of the original farm I want to go back to.
Right. Any questions for Mr. Garrett? Thank you, sir. Anyone else here to speak to this case? All right. If not, at 7:07, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oakes.
Mr. Chairman, in case R-24-001, I recommend we change the zoning from R1 residential to A1 agriculture.
Motion by Mr. Oakes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Webb. Please cast your vote.
Ms. Henderson.
And come up.
Ms.
How do you
Henderson,
vote?
can we get your vote verbally?
Yes.
Motion carries 6 yes, 0 no. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. At 7:09, case S-24-001 is now open for public hearing.
Case S-24-001, James and Carolyn Calhoun have petitioned for a special use permit on 5.75 acres located on State Road 777 Yorkshire Road in the Callan-Scranton Election District to allow for the sale, service, and repair of automobiles in accordance with Pennsylvania County Code Section 35-179. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, James Calhoun is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Calhoun? Yes, sir. You have anything you'd like to say? Yep.
My plan basically is to have a car lot, any kind of service and stuff for vehicles. It's really, at this point, I don't have any plans to have like a customer-type business to, fix outside cars except for what I sell and service what, I sell.
Gotcha.
The property has been a commercial property before in the past. It's actually the old Smith Mountain store by the dam. So it has been a commercial property in the past, many, many years ago. But that's the building and all that I will be using. So that's about it.
All right. Have you read through and understand the conditions that the staff is recommending for this? I'll read them to you. If conducted, if conducted on property, repair activities shall be contained within an enclosed structure.
Yes, yes.
Inoperable vehicles should not be stored on the property for longer than 60 days in accordance with County Code, Chapter 9. It must be stored in an area screened in accordance with PCC 35-121. Screened areas for inoperable vehicles shall be a minimum of 50 feet from adjacent property lines.
Correct, okay.
Okay?
I have plans for all this, but this is step one before we, get
Okay.
involved in all that, so.
On-site parking must be provided in accordance with 35-82.
Already present.
Any vehicles on the lot for sale must be marked with a designated parking area, and vehicles cannot be parked on grass areas.
Correct,
Okay,
okay.
just want to make sure that you, 'cause if we recommend approval, those conditions will probably go along with it.
Yeah, no
Okay.
worries about that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else here to speak to this case?
I've got one comment.
Yes.
I looked this code up on it, fencing, and I think we ought to put a timeline on how long he should have to put a fence up. And we don't want to, pin you down so tight, you can't live with it. And I think maybe we should put a 9-10 months time limit to get a screening area for the inoperable cars.
Okay, yeah, I have plans for all that.
Okay. Because I know in some cases it's, people get slack on it.
I understand that. And, like I said, I do have a definitive plan for all that. It costs money until this process is approved,
Yes.
but that's one of the first things on that.
Anybody else? Emily, do you have anything to add or suggest about that timeline being added to the recommendation?
No, I would just maybe put something that would trigger that time frame to start. I don't know that you would want it from today because, if he doesn't start operating his business there for, another 6 months.
Yeah.
So, maybe from commencement of operation or something like that.
How does that sound to you, Mr. Garrett?
No, that sounds fine with me. If I can recommend, if I understand it, the 2nd of February is when I get actually yes or no approval, disapproval. If you'd like to start that timeline from that point, because I still have many other hoops to jump through. But, this is step one of the process. I have to apply to the state for the dealership license and all that. So, but if you want to start that timeline at the time I get an approval, I'd be totally satisfied with that. That'll be one of my first priorities.
Yeah, I'll make it from the time you open your business.
Okay.
Because we want you to do it, but we don't want to pin you down too tight.
Any other questions for Mr. Calhoun or comments? All right. At 7:14, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oakes?
Mr. Chairman, in case S-24-001, I recommend we issue a special use permit with the 4 conditions that the county has recommended, plus a timeline on getting a fence up 4 months from the time he opens his business.
Motion by Mr. Oakes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Brown. We ready to vote?
So just to clarify for the record, so you are adding this language to condition number 2 to state, screened areas for inoperable vehicles, stored in an area screened in accordance with Pennsylvania County Code, Section 35-121. All screening and fencing must be installed within 4 months from the time the business is opened. Is that correct? 10 months. I'm sorry, I thought you said 4. So 10 months. Okay.
Okay.
Still good, second in there, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6 yes, 0 no. And I've been locked out of my screen. What is our next case number?
S24002.
At 716, case S-24-002 is now open for public hearing. Mrs. Ragsdale.
Case S-24-002, Valerie McKenzie has petitioned for a special use permit on 0.80 acres located on State Road 41, Franklin Turnpike, in the Tunstall Election District to allow for the placement of a double-wide manufactured home in accordance with Pennsylvania County Code, Section 35-223. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, a representative with Clayton Mobile Homes is here to represent the petition.
Yes. Any question? Come on up.
Can you state your name for the
record?
record?
Yeah. Daniel Leonard. If you don't have anything to add, somebody might have a question. Any questions for Mr. Leonard while we have him?
No questions. That subdivision has got all double wides in it, so I don't see any problem.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. All right. At 7:17, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oaks, it's you again.
Mr. Chairman, in case S-24-002, I recommend we issue a special use permit for a double-wide home.
Motion by Mr. Oaks. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mrs. Henderson. Please cast your votes. Motion carries 6 yes, 0 no. Old business.
I would just like to mention to you all that we will have the last workshop for the zoning ordinance update. The final draft will come back before the Board of Supervisors and you all on the 23rd. I don't have the time in front of me. I wrote that down but left it at the office, so I will send out an email tomorrow with the time, but it will be in this room on the 23rd.
What time?
I'll send that out tomorrow. I don't have that with me.
23rd of January.
Yes.
New business.
We will have cases for next month, one rezoning case and some sign permit applications for some billboards along 29. So those are provided in front of you.
Anybody have anything else?
Oh, and you should all have received the meeting schedule from Robin for 2024. If you did not get that, please let me know, and I'll make sure that you do get a copy of that.
Okay. All right. At 7:19, we